Vienna was the ideal environment for a child to grow up. If I use the word idyllic, I don't think it's an exaggeration. And I only wish that my grandchildren and great-grandchildren could enjoy the kind of environment, the kind of world in which I grew up. I don't think there's any child in the entire world, especially in this country, but anywhere, who feels secure today in the way that we felt growing up in Vienna.
זהו סיפור של שנה בחיי אבי פנחס, אחיו הבכור שמואל, אחותם הצעירה אני, ובת דודתה מלי.
You know, it's just a perfect world for children to grow up. We had anything a child could want. We had doll houses, and soldiers were very big, like those lead toy soldiers.
Am Brunnen vor dem Tore, da steht ein Lindenbaum. Ich träumt in seinem Schatten so manchen süßen Traum. Ich schnitt in seiner Rinde so manches süßes Wort. Es zog in Leid und Freude zu ihm ich immer fort. Danke.
Couldn't go. Pixie wanted to go. He wanted to see where I was born. And I've said to myself many times, to the present day, it comes up every so often in my mind. You had such wonderful life there. You had cousins and aunts and uncles, and everybody's home was your home, you know. We were very, very close. So go and see where you had happy times. And I think, yes, we could do that. And then my stomach just turns and I can't.
ניסה קודם כל בית בו נולדתי, אמא עדיין עומד, כי זה הבית ישן באזור די עני של פועלים. כנראה ששינו את החזית, כי אני זוכר את החלונות מן חלונות כאלה, ושתי חלונות היו שני חדרים.
קומת קרקע?
קומת קרקע.
ושני חדרים גרתם בבית הזה?
כן.
כמה אנשים?
הוריי, שני ילדים, ולפעמים גם אמא של אבא שלי, סבתא מצד אבא, וגוסטי שהייתה הנכדה ובת הדודה שלי. אבא שלי, מקס רוזנקרנץ, נולד בעיירה קטנה בגבול רומניה-פולניה. הוא נפגש עם אמי גולדה בשטטל בגליציה בשם הורודנקה. אמא ואבא נישאו ב-1918 בחצר הבית בהורודנקה ומיד עברו לגור בווינה.
There were still 7 children left in Hodenka, but when my parents were married, Uncle Max said to my father, "You don't belong in a small town, you have to come to Vienna." And sure enough, they brought my parents to Vienna. And so we were very close because this was our family now. My father was successful. We had help at home. And we went to the park every day. We were with our cousins and our aunts. And one by one, my mother's sisters came over, and my father and my uncle helped set them up in their homes and get married.
Ever since we left, I felt guilty. And Melly, who's much more balanced than I am, perhaps, she has said to me, when I've asked a question, I ask, why did I get away? And why did this little cousin and this little cousin, they didn't get away? Why was I, able? And she said quite rightly, what could you have done? You were a child yourself. What could you have done?
היטלר נכנס לאוסטריה ביום שישי בערב. אמנם היו לי משקפיים ואף יהודי קצת, אבל הייתי בלונדיני.
עיניים כחולות.
עיניים כחולות.
בור לבן.
והייתי הולך שם בין הגויים, עומד בשורה ראשונה כשהיטלר עובר, וצועקים האלה. ולפעמים גם הרמתי את היד, כי לא מרימים את היד, אז מורידים לך את הראש.
In Germany between 1933 and 1938, there were not as many Jewish people killed in the streets as in one night in Vienna, because that was the night when Hitler marched into Austria.
It was such a mixture of feelings because it was like a wonderful holiday, a wonderful carnival. And the streets were full of people hanging out of the windows, and everybody's waving the swastika, and everybody's cheering. And your father and I are in amongst this boy. And I knew it was all wrong that we were there before. I knew that all this cheering wasn't for us.
I was still at school, some of us went still to school. The Jewish school was still operating. I can't remember if you went to school.
רק דבר אחד השתנה, וזה יש לגודעה מתמונה, שבין לילה כל הקישוט הפך להיות גלים עם הצלב. First thing, some of our teachers, Jewish teachers, didn't turn up at school. One never asked why. It was quite obvious why, and including teachers which we did not even know they were Jewish.
I can feel it now that something was coming. And what came was that the Jewish children had to leave the school and would now be going to a different school. And it was the end of the school day, like at lunchtime, and we went out and the tears were streaming down my face, absolutely. And my best friend's mother was waiting for her outside, and she saw me with, and she said, "Don't cry, don't show them that you're hurt and that you're sorry. Don't show them that they could hurt you."
And then Jewish students in the district, at least as far as I'm concerned, were concentrated in one school. So there were only Jewish pupils there.
I came home from school one day and SR came and they took my mother to scrub the street. They did this all over Vienna.
Are you at home?
I came home from school and just then they came and they took my mother down to the street.
We were scared.
You were scared? You
We
stayed
were
at
scared
home?
that she will never come back.
And what did you do when you saw this?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Why?
You kept quiet, you went into the house, closed the door.
Hoped for the best.
And I started to cry. My mother said to her, "What are you crying about?" So forth. And she said to them, "I've scrubbed floors before in my time. I'll come and scrub the street." She came back after half an hour, and they hadn't put acid on her hands, so she was lucky because they did that to other people.
One was happy to wake up the next morning and still be at home and not somewhere with a Gestapo or whatever.
Guten Morgen, würden Sie mir bitte einen Gefallen tun und das Tor aufmachen? לבית הזה עברנו כשרווח כלכלית, ופה נולדה אני. ממול היה גר המנהיג של הנאצים, עוד כשזה היה בלתי חוקי, היה ממול. היטלר נכנס לאוסטריה ביום שישי בערב.
כן.
כשקמנו בבוקר בשבת, כל המרפסת שלו היה עם גלים של הנאצים.
טוב, הבית הזה?
9.
I went to the piano to practice to play. And they had my father's typewriter, and they had paper strewn all over this table. And there was Shmuel and Pinchas was there, and 2 other guys.
דולפי ברונה, שהיה אחראי על פעילות הנוער הציוני בווינה, ארגן שיעורים בנושא יהדות. את מערכות השיעורים הדפסנו על מכונת הכתיבה של אבי בבית.
And all of a sudden there's a ring in the door, and the dining room door is open into this hallway, and my mother came from the kitchen and opened the door, and there's this Viennese woman. Her husband works nights, and what's all this klemperei, she called, noise making on the piano? It disturbs her husband, and it's to stop immediately. And my mother again, she's not frightened, and she says she's never met a Viennese who doesn't like music. And this woman said to her, you'll pay for your chutzpah. She used the word chutzpah. I guess even if she hadn't seen that, she would have found some other excuse. My father's about to make Kiddush, Friday night, bang, bang, bang on the door.
And I can't recollect. If Kiddush was made or not.
Yes, we were sitting at the table already eating.
Eating, that's right.
Bang on the door, it wasn't a knocking on the door.
Yes.
That was part of the thing to scare you out of your wits.
Yes.
And they marched in, and they wanted to see the communist propaganda.
The shock of hearing the knock knock on the door at that hour of night, it's enough to make me forget anything except the knock knock, and the next thing the door was open and in marched, I can't tell you exactly how many, but it seemed to me like 3 or 4 men, some were in plain clothes, and one at least was in a uniform, black, not SISS.
And then they started to turn everything upside down, to collect things, books, the typewriter, papers, etc. And must have taken, I don't know, it seemed a long time, I don't know whether it took half an hour, an hour.
What did you do at the same time?
You stand around and you do nothing.
You do
Just
nothing.
stand there and do nothing.
You do nothing, you freeze.
Do you look at them while they're doing it? Are you looking at the floor?
You don't know what not to look at. Not what to look at. But you stand there and you simply are not yourself.
They took away my father.
היה זה בערב שבת, ערב לפני עלייתי לתורה, לטקס הבר מצווה שלי.
I remember it was Shabbat morning, and then all of a sudden the doorbell rang, and there was your mother, your grandmother, I'm sorry, and she was obviously very disturbed. Here was her son's bar mitzvah, and they had taken her husband to jail, and it was, I still remember, it's as if, you know, I could just see her. I remember the hat she wore, because around that time, my mother and my other aunt and your mother had gotten the same color hats, but it was different style, but it was, you know, the same color, and I remember she was wearing that hat.
ברחוב הזה היה בית כנסת קטן, זה היה קומת קרקע של בניין מגורים רגיל.
כן.
וכאן אנחנו היינו הולכים כי זה היה נחמד ומשפחתי ולא דבר גדול. אני אפילו לא בטוח אם מה שעכשיו הרסטורנט זה לא...
אולי זה היה? אולי זה היה בית כנסת?
בשבת בבוקר אמא שלחה את שמואל לבית הכנסת כדי למסור לאנשים שבאו במיוחד לטקס הבר מצווה שלי, שלא נגיע ולא יהיה בר מצווה.
Certain members of the family were there. They were waiting for the bar mitzvah.
You walk in and...
I walk in and I'm telling them that my father was arrested yesterday and that Pinchas is not going to come to shul. Full stop. I remember I stayed still for a little while in the Beit Knesset, and I call it advisedly a Beit Knesset and not a synagogue, because it was a very small sort of Heimische congregation. And then I went home. And one started to think what to do and whom to approach.
זה מה שגרנו, התפוזים המלאכותיים האלה. הזכיר לי שבאחת הספרים הרצל, כבוד הרצל, כתב בגרמנית, אני אחר כך אתרגם, Ich träume im Land zu sein, wo die Orangen blühen.
וזה?
I wish... קפוצ'ינו? קפוצ'ינו, דקה.
בעברית.
אני רוצה כבר להיות בארץ, ששם התפוזים פורחים. התפוז הזה הזכיר לי. מתי קראתי הרצל בגרמנית? לפני 60 שנה. כל הדברים האלה צצים פתאום במוח.
Those weeks went in, just my mother was always going somewhere to see somebody, this lawyer, that lawyer, the other.
Whom to approach? Does one approach, for instance, the Kommissarischen Verwalter, Kohler?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he can do something.
Yes.
Do I get in touch with Dolphy Brunner on Sunday morning? Maybe he can do something.
What about your mother? Did she have any ideas?
She was quite an heroic woman.
She went to the police and tried to find out where he was. כאן יחזיקו את האבא שלי.
פה?
כן. כשהוא היה נעצר ל6 שבועות. כי זה היה קול של ה-SS בסופו של הדבר, כן? או חלק היה. אבל תסתכלו על המבנה.
כן, כן. אז איפה פה תאי המעצר?
לא יודע.
And I used to go to bed at night, lie in the dark. And we lived in this quiet street. But a city block away was a tramway line. No, Straßenbahn, a tramway. And they made a noise in those days. They made quite a bit of noise. And I used to lie in bed and I'd hear them from the distance. And I'd pray to God, let Papa come home on this tramway. This went on night after night. Because I knew already that not everybody comes home.
Anything you can think of you are trying to do in order to feel sometimes even that you are doing something. Our mother, who I consider was a very astute woman, said, okay, Why you were arrested? Because somebody informed her. But the ultimate purpose is a different one. The ultimate purpose is for the businesses, the property, life insurance policies, to be sold in commerce to the state. And I want to tell you that it meant sold, not confiscated. There are documents, sales documents, stamped, but that wasn't enough.
ביום ראשון בבוקר התקשרנו עם דולפי בוינה בטלפון, סיפרנו לו מה קרה. הוא הזמין אותי לבוא למשרד של התנועה הציונית בווינה, וביקש ממני שם שאני במכונת כתיבה אכתוב את כל הפרטים וכל מה שהתרחש. הוא לקח את המכתב, הוסיף לזה בכתב ידו דברים שאינני יודע, לא ראיתי מה הוא כתב, הכניס את המכתב בתוך מעטפה, בחוץ הוא כתב שם, ואמר לי לגשת למפקדת הגסטאפו, שהיה בבית מלון המפואר ביותר בווינה, הוטל מטרופול, ולנסות להגיע לאיש הזה. ובשום פנים ואופן לא למסור את המכתב למישהו אחר. וגם הוסיף, אחרי שתמסור את המכתב, תשכח מכל העניין, גם את השם. הלכתי להוטל מטרופול, ילד 13, אמרתי שם לאיש ה-SS שעמד בשער שיש לי מכתב למסור, עליתי במדרגות רחבות והגעתי לדלת, איש ה-SS פתח לי דלת, אחר כך דלת שנייה, הכניס אותי פנימה וסגר את הדלת. ניגשתי לאיש, כמובן פחדתי, כי ידענו שהמעטב משמש כמקום עינויים של הגסטאפו. הוא פתח את המכתב, קרא, הסתכל עליי, וכל מה שאמר היה רוס, החוצה. אז כמובן יצאתי החוצה. ובאמת שכחתי מכל העניין.
There was a rumor that they were taking people away from certain jails or detention places in Vienna, and they were going to be taken away to concentration camps. So my mother and I and my tante Yuri, we went to this particular area. The day was grey black, and out of every window people were hanging out looking at what was going on in the street below, and there was policemen and there was SS and there were black cars and everything. And my mother and my aunt, I saw them craning like everybody else was craning to see, maybe they'll see my uncle. That was terrible. That was really terrible.
הדוד טולנפלד נלקח משם למחנה ריכוז ולעולם לא חזר.
My father was let out, and he came home, and he found nobody at home. Nobody was home. So he asked the neighbor. She said, I don't know, but they're all here.
בשבת בבוקר שמואל ואני היינו בבית הכנסת, ופתאום אבא נכנס, לא מגולח, והרגישו שהוא עבר לא מעט.
It was one of the most moving moments of my life. Not only seeing my father, but with him came a guy who was a rabbi in a provincial city, Wiener Neustadt. And he read the Maftir. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Like I haven't heard it since.
Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Yoimar, Eloi keichem. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. Yoimar, Eloi keichem. Ki lagcha, ki lagcha, Yad Hashem. Ki yiflayim, b'chol chatoisecha.
He didn't tell of anything specific, if they were made to stand in the yard or if they were, how they were treated or what. But the specific thing that I did hear him tell was how he came to be released from his angle. This is what I remember. There must have been interrogations several times. And then came another one. He was again called into the... And this Gestapo is sitting at a table and he's standing in front of him. And he's addressed as Jude. Not Mr. or a name or anything. Jude. And there was some sentence like, I suppose you've got plenty of money that you sucked from us. Some expression like that. And my father said, I haven't had a father. I was an orphan from the age of 6. And since that age, I've worked with these 10 fingers. And he said something, I think, I've always paid everything I had to pay, all my debts, everything. So something was touched in this conversation, which of course I don't know the full detail, but he said to him, sit down. If we let you go, what will you do? Don't forget, this is August 38. So my father said, we have family in Australia who've written to us that the papers, the entry certificates, the papers that we need to go to Australia are on the way. And they should be here any week now. So you'll go to Australia? So my father said yes. So he said in a different tone altogether, he said, very good, very good. The further you get away from Europe, the better. For people like you, Europe's not the place.
And only then did we find out that whatever he had, whatever documentation they had in the meantime obtained, he had sold. He had signed over to the state.
And then life went on. We went to the new school. We Jewish children from all around, making friends. And then came Kristallnacht.
Sure.
So my father rode the tramways all night. And then at 2 o'clock in the morning of that night, he went to some of his customers, Christian people. He had a drink there or something. And then he went riding the tramways again all the next day.
Why?
In order not to be at home, because they were rounding up people.
וכאן הוציאו את הרב של הקהילה, איש עם זקן, עם ספר תורה, והציתו את ספר התורה והכריחו אותו להחזיק אותו ביד כשהוא בוער.
ואתה ראית את זה? ואתה ראית את הרב נשרף גם?
לא, הרב לא נשרף, בסוף זה נפל מהידיים שלו.
כן.
אבל צהלה ושמחה מסביב.
To leave was, that was the thing to do. I knew that the thing was to get out of there. Everybody had to get out. But nobody got out except us at the time. Beginning of 1939.
את כל העניין של המכתב בהוטל מטרופול באמת שכחתי. עד ליום אחד, כאשר עבדתי מטעם אונסקו בליבריה, קיבלנו כרגיל את הג'רוסלם פוסט. כשפתחתי את העיתון, בעמוד הראשון ראיתי תמונה, ואמרתי, זהו האיש. לא ידעתי מי התמונה, אבל זהו האיש. האיש האסס.
איך שוכחים כזה דבר?
זה היה עוד יותר. אני לא סיפרתי לא לשמוע ולא להני. לא רציתי לעלות על דעתי שהרוצח הזה הציל את אבא. ואני לא בטוח אם הוא בכלל עזר לו. בינואר 39 עזבנו את וינה ברכבת לרוטרדם, ומשם באונייה לאוסטרליה.
Not a night passed that I didn't cry in bed. Because there was no sun.
Did you talk about it? Did your mother mention?
We always mention, we're always talking. But where are they? Where are they?
דוד, מרקוס, אבא של מלי, נלקח לבוכנוולד.
Another uncle was on the same transport at the same time, and he was beaten to death. He had a heart attack. He was beaten. They were all being beaten. And he died by the wayside. That's another uncle. That's a third uncle.
הדוד מרקוס, אבא של מלי, כן חזר מבוכנוולד כשמשקלו מחצית ממשקלו הרגיל, והם כן הצליחו לצאת את וינה בזמן.
When they went, it meant that Sabina was left with one little one. Tante Anna was left. Tante Yuri and the two little ones were left on their own. My mother lived with the hope and the faith that somebody must have been left over. Somebody must have been left over. And the only somebody she heard from again was daughter Lily, who was a cousin's daughter. But my mother took it to her heart as if she represented the whole family from over there.
השעון הזה היה בתוראי טרם נולדתי. יש להניח שזה היה הצליל הראשון שאני שמעתי בחיי.